Again I am here to deliver the lecture of the remaining part of the chapter, that is the control and coordination. We already studied the brain, the reflex section, reflex arc, and the conduction of nerve impulses in the previous videos. So you can watch those videos in my YouTube channel. And in this video I am going to cover the coordination in plants, how the plants coordinates, and what are the various types of movement due to stimulus occurs in the plant. Stimulus, I told you in the previous video what is stimulus. Stimulus is the external response to an organism. So in this you can see the various diagrams I already pasted on the board, so we won't waste any time. So the two types of movement occurs in the plant. The two types of movement occurs in the plant. The first type of movement which we are going to study is the tropic movements. Tropic movements. And the second type, which I am going to tell you, is the nastic movement. So sir, what is the difference between these two? Actually, these tropic movements, very important, these tropic movements are directional movements. That means these movements occurs in the direction of the stimuli. Stimuli is the response from the outer environment to an organism. Here the organism is plants. So these movements, the tropic movements, occurs in the direction of the plant. Stimuli done by the plant. And nastic movement, these are the non-directional movements. That means they won't occur in the direction of the stimuli. So that is the difference between the tropic and the nastic movement. The upper one is the directional movement and the second one is the nastic movement. So first we are going to see the tropic movement. The tropic movements is of various types. We are going to see. By the way, tropic means the movement. Tropic means the movement. Movement is there. So tropic in Latin language, the tropic word relates to the bending. And here we are relating the tropism as a movement. So tropism is the movement. So the first tropic movement, the tropism, is the phototropism. Now clearly the photo means light. So the movement due to light. I'm going to explain this thing to you. But first I'm writing what are the various types of tropism we are going to study. The first is the phototropism. It is related to light, L-I-G-H-T, light. The second, hydrotropism. Now hydrotropism related to water. Now this is the question asked in the 2 years back. This question is asked in the board exam. Describe or demonstrate the hydrotropism using an example. So I am going to tell you what the example you can use it. Now the third is geotropism. Geo means gravity. Now the movement due to gravity and all. This is what called geotropism. The fourth case, chemotropism. Chemo means chemicals. And the fifth one, the last one, that is thigmo. Thigmotropism, that means it is related to touch. So these are the various type of tropism we are going to study, and these are the diagrams which I made for you for the various type of tropism actually. So first is the phototropism. Now phototropism means the bending of plant part towards the light. Now you can clearly see here the sun is there. Now this is the activity of your NCERT book. Now what you have to do, you take a beaker, this is the beaker, in beaker you take the wire mesh, above the wire mesh you put some seed, and after germination the shoot arises and the root arises. Now this is the cardboard, this is the cardboard, and why I put this cardboard? Because from nowhere the light enters. Only the direction of light is from the sun. So here you can see the bending of the shoot is towards the sun, and the bending of root is towards the, also you can say away from the sun. So that process is known to be as, or this phenomenon is known to be as phototrophism. That means the bending of the plant part towards the light. So if the question is asked to you what is phototrophism, you have to explain this diagram. Now the second case is of the water, and here the hydrotrophism is there. That means the movement of plant part due to water or in the presence of water. Now in the example I have given you two examples, the example 1 and the example 2. Now here in the example 1, this is an earthen pot. That means matka in Hindi. Now what we have to do, we have to make a dig and we have to put that earthen pot inside it, like that, and we have to fill it with the water. So near the plant. Now after few days or after so many days, you can see the roots were shows the movement towards this earthen pot. Why it is so? Because the water is present here. So these roots were bending towards the water. Now this bending of water is the best example of the hydrotrophy. Bending of root towards the water is the best example of the hydrotrophy. Now the roots were bending towards the water. Now in the second example is little bit complicated, but you have to see. You have to focus in this diagram. Now in this diagram, I put two stands, and between these stands there is a wire mesh. Jali in Hindi, jali is there. Wire mesh is there, and above the wire mesh, I put the sawdust. Lakdi ka burada, sawdust, and the sawdust is moist. I have to moisten this sawdust, and I put the seeds on it. Now after putting seeds on it, after some time, we found that the seeds will start germinating. So when the seeds germinate, the two parts were developed. The first is the radicle, and the second is the plumule. So plumule and radicle. So plumule is giving rise to the shoot, and radicle is going to give rise to the root. So here the radicle appears, and when the radicle appears, the radicle first goes down. And again after some time, this radicle starts moving up. Now why it is so? Because these radicals won't find traces of water down. They won't find water downside. When these seeds germinate, the radical starts sieving from the wire mesh. The first radical starts moving down, but after some time or some days, they again starts moving upward. You can able to see here. Now why it is so? Because the water is present in this sawdust. We already moistened the water, so the presence of water is there, and because of that, the radical starts moving up. So that is the two cases. The first example, the example 1 and the example 2. So you can able to write these two. You can write these two examples, any one examples in in the board exam if it is asked. Now the third case is the geotrophism. The third case is the geotrophism. That means because the movement is due to the gravity. The movement is due to gravity. Now, first what we have to do, we have to take a potted plant. Now, I've already taken the potted plant here. So we have to take a potted plant. It is a normal potted plant, and I have to place it like this. Now you can able to see. If I bend the pot and I place this pot like this. So after few days, now you can see after few days, the shoot starts moving upward. The shoot starts moving upward and the root starts moving downward. So this is the positive case. This is the positive case. This is the positive case. That means the shoot is moving upward. It is against the gravity. Moving upward against the gravity. The shoot is moving. The movement is there. The movement of root is there and the movement of shoot is there. The one is against the gravity and the other one is with the gravity. Now it is clearly written here. You can see it. So that is the best example. That is the best example of the geotrophism. That means the movement due to gravity. Now the next thing is the chemotrophism. Now it is clearly mentioned here. Chemotrophism means chemical. So it is due to the movement of chemicals. Now to understand this, we have to go a little bit in the reproduction part of the reproduction chapter. And when we see the reproduction in the plants, in the lower classes we studied that the pollen grains from the one plant or the pollen grains from the one flower goes to the or pollinate the same flower or goes to the another flower. So when the pollen grains landed on the stigma of the female reproductive system. Now this is the female reproductive system of the flower. This is the female reproductive system of the flower, and this whole system is known to be as pistil or carpel. This whole diagram is known to be as the pistil and the carpel. And this pistil and the carpel is known to be as the female reproductive part of the plant. Now you can easily see that so many different types of pollen grains. So many different types of pollen grains land on the stigma. And only one pollen grain or only one type of pollen grain is capable of formation of pollen tube. And why the pollen tube is formed? Because through this pollen tube, the two gametes were going to go inside and fertilize this egg. Now I am repeating it. Now, when we see the reproduction in the plant, the male gamete is going to fertilize the female gamete. Inside the pollen grains, the male gamete is present, and inside this ovule, now you can see the ovule, inside this ovule, the white color, inside the ovule, the egg cell is there. So to fertilize this egg cell, there is a need for gametes, male gametes, and that is released by this pollen grain. And so there is a need for a tube, which is known to be the pollen tube, so that these pollen grains may enter in the egg cell. So what happens right here? Now there is a chemical dialogue. There is a chemical dialogue between the pollen grains and the stigma of this pistil or the carpel. Now stigma is a part of this carpel. Stigma, style, this violet part is known to be the ovary. Now some chemicals were released by the pollen grains, which is recognized by the stigma, and some chemicals were released by this stigma, which is recognized by pollen grains. So there is a chemical dialogue between two. So the formation of pollen tube is the best example of the chemotropism, because the movement of this pollen tube is directional. So the formation of pollen tube is the best example of the chemotropism. And the last thigmotrophism. which we are going to see, the last tropism, the last movement which we are going to see is the thigmotropism. Thigmo means touch. Now, I think many of you seen the plants which found on the fences. जो बाउंड्रीज होती हैं हमारे खेतों की और जो बगीचों की जो बाउंड्रीज होती हैं उसमें बहुत सारे प्लांट्स आपको दिखाई देते हैं और उन बहुत सारे प्लांट्स में आपको बहुत छोटे छोटे वायर्स आपको उस फेंसिंग पे लटके हुए नजर आते हैं, लाइक दैट. Now these small wires are known to be as tendrils. These are known to be as tendrils. Now this formation of these tendrils and winding of these tendrils to the fence is the best example of thigmotrophism. Now when in the plant, when these tendril arises and if they touch the fence, they just, or if they see any object, whether it is a fence or whether it is any other object like a stick or like wood or like dead plant or anything, it is going to be bind on it. So that is the best example of the thigmotrophism. Now in the next part, now this is the best example. This is the best example of the this is the best examples what we studied for the for the tropism or tropical movements. Now the next portion is the nestic movement. Now I told you in the video that nestic movements. Now nestic movements are the non-directional movement. Nesting movements are the non-directional movement. Now these all movements shows direction. Tropism, these all movements show direction. The tropical movements are there, but the nesting movements show non-directional. I am giving you one example. I think all of you have seen the Chui Mui plant. Touch me not. Chui Mui, touch me not. It is a plant of mimosa family. It is a plant of mimosa family. Now when you touch that plant, when you touch that plant, whole leaves and whole branches becomes droop, fold हो जाती है. जैसे आप किसी पार्ट को उसको टच करते हो तो वो सारे के सारे जो पत्तियां हैं वो मुरझा जाती हैं. वो सारी की सारी पत्तियां मुरझाएंगी, वो ब्रांचेस मुरझा जाएंगे और कुछ देर बाद जो है वो फिर से वैसी का वैसे खिल जाएगी. तो ये जो कंडीशन है, ये जो मुरझाना, जो पत्तियों का जो मुरझाना है और पत्तियों का जो वापस से खिल जाना है, ये होता है nestic movement. It is known to be as nestic movement. Why? Because it is non-directional. Why I am saying that? Why I am saying that? क्योंकि जब आप जिस जगह को टच करते हो, वहां पे मूवमेंट आपको दिखाई नहीं देता. आपको मूवमेंट दिखाई देता है पत्तियों में. तो पत्तियां पूरी की पूरी क्या होती हैं? मुरझा जाती हैं. पत्तियां फिर से फोल्ड हो जाती हैं. Now this movement is also seen in the evening plant also. Now many plants in the evening folds their leaf, and when the sun rises again they open their leaves. So this type of movement is known to be as nestic movement, which is non-directional, and the movement which is having the directional to the stimulus, they are known to be as tropical movement. Now this is the topic. This is the topic which is related to the movements in the plants, coordination in the plants. Now the next topic which I am going to tell you is about the PGR. PGR, that is the plant growth regulators, or we can say hormones. So I will rub this, and again I am coming back to the next topic. So on the board I pasted the different types of plant growth regulators. Now what is the question asked from this? Now simply the question is asked the role of different plant growth regulators. Now in one of the exam I found the question that what are phytohormones? What are the different types of phytohormones? What is the work of these phytohormones? Now the phytohormones, plant growth regulators, PGRs, plant hormones, the same thing. These all words are same. Now, so there are 5 type of plant growth regulators we have to study. Now the first is the auxin. This is the class of plant growth regulators. That means in auxin there are many hormones. Okay, now what is hormone first? Now hormones are the chemicals which are released by the organisms which performs a very specific function in the organism. Now without hormone there may be deformities in the body of the organism. So hormones is very important. So auxin is a group of hormone. Cytokinin is a group of hormone. Gibberellins, abscisic acid, ethylene, these are all the types of hormones. And we have to study the function of these groups. Now the first is the auxins. Now the auxins are basically responsible for the synthesis of shoot and root. रूट और शूट को बनाने के काम करने का काम कौन करते हैं? ये ऑक्सिन्स करते हैं. अगर ये ऑक्सिन्स नहीं होंगे तो रूट और शूट का फॉर्मेशन जो है प्लांट में नहीं होगा. Now they also helps in the growth of root and shoot. Now the second case is the cytokinins. Cytokinins promote cell division. ये सेल डिवीजन होने में मदद करता है. और सेल डिवीजन तब जरूरत है जब भी नए पार्ट की बनने की जरूरत हो या फिर पुराना पार्ट टूट गया हो, और जब नए पार्ट की जरूरत हो तब जो है साइटोकिनिन्स जो है ये वर्क करने वाले हैं. Now the next part is the gibberellin. Now what is the function of gibberellin? Gibberellins helps in germination, the flowering and the fruit ripening. The next is abscisic acid. Now abscisic acid inhibits the growth. Actually this abscisic acid just works against the gibberellins. So abscisic acid inhibits the growth, causes the wilting of leaves. Wilting of leaves means leaves का टूटना, सूख के टूट जाना, wilting of leaves. And this abscisic acid is also known to be as stress hormone. This you remember, huh? Stress hormone. So this abscisic acid is also known to be as stress hormone. Now the last one is the ethylene. Now ethylene is the gaseous hormone. And it is very, very important for the ripening of fruits. So many times I found the question on that, ethylene. Now which hormone is responsible for the ripening of fruits? So the ripening of fruits is ethylene is responsible for the ripening of fruits. So these are the various types of plant hormone. You have to remember the various functions what they perform. So I am ending this video here regarding the coordination in plant and the phytochromes. In my next video, I am going to talk about the hormones in the humans. So please make sure that all the topics in this video can studied by you, and please make concern towards these studies. It is very, very important. Okay, so we are going to meet in the next video for the endocrine system of the humans.